Um, let's go to Governor Murphy now. Is proposing to launch a 15-hub network to provide mental health support to students across New Jersey. Joining us now to discuss the proposal is Assemblywoman Kim Eulner. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning? Thanks for joining us.
I'm fine, thank you. How are
Great,
you?
great to be with you this morning. So this is a $43 million plan. It would set up 15 mental health hubs to provide services to students across the state. Your thoughts on that plan?
I think $43 million could be better spent to fund the schools that already have these programs and even duplicate the successful programs. For example, the source of Red Bank Regional in Little Silver, which is in District 11, which I represent. The source does wonderful things. Students can walk by, open up the door, and go in and sort of have that pseudo grandmother hug. There's a foosball table. There's people there. There's granola bars. They can go in on comfy couches, and then they can talk to people if they're having just a bad day or even have suicidal thoughts.
Wow.
And that is what we need to keep in this state.
Yeah, you mentioned Red Bank, obviously, but overall, how do you think mental health is being addressed in schools, and where can people improve?
I think we need to bolster our staff of psychologists and therapists in all of our schools, whether it's from kindergarten through 8th grade through high school. We all know what we've experienced with COVID. We need people boots on the ground to put it into the hands of a child to then go up onto his or her computer after school and consider reaching out to one of these hubs. I think is just nonsensical. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
I think they need to be able to walk into a classroom or an office in their school.
That's a good point. I mean, putting it on the shoulders of them, like they may not know where to go half the time too. So, if they're feeling that way, they may not want to get the help that they may not believe that they need help. So you feel like having it right there in their face might actually be a better alternative.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And meeting with the people at the source. Suzanne Keller is the head of it at Red Bank Regional. She's had students come in either that they are threatening suicide, or there was a student that had a friend who was out of district. She brought it to Mrs. Keller's attention. They reached out, and that child inevitably did not die by suicide because someone cared enough to say something. Wow. So that would not happen with this hub and spoke idea that the governor has, in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, are Republicans putting out their own plan now because of that?
We have invited Governor Murphy to attend a meeting with us at the source. So then again, he could learn how it is set up and we could duplicate it throughout the state. He has neglected to respond. We've also spoken to the governor's staff back in the fall, and they were explaining this hub and spoke process to us. One of my questions was, how would it be run? Do we already have the technology? Are there programs? And they were like, nope, we don't have anything. So they want, starting approximately September 1st of this year to start this program, but we don't have the infrastructure in place. One perfect example is a poorly run state program, unemployment. It crashes, people can't get through. How are we going to do this with the students who are in crisis possibly? It's just too much, too soon, and we need to keep with the in-school programs that we have.
And what are the next steps for this? I mean, how does this even, like you said, this is supposed to start in September, but if you don't have the resources, how is that going to happen? What are you going to do next? How is this going to move forward?
We're going to continue to reach out to Governor Murphy and his staff to beg them to continue the programs that are in place, to again duplicate the ones that are successful throughout the districts. We have 600 schools. He wants to have only 15 hubs. That's not going to work. There's too many children in crisis. There's unemployment. There's hunger. There's problems at home with parents. Everything. So I think we're gonna lose so many lives if we push this through too fast.
Yeah,
a big mistake.
Assemblywoman Eulner, thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. Appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, and have a good day.
You
too now.
Yeah, it's such an important topic, and it seems like a topic that both sides can agree on, that we do need to have something
Yeah, you
in
think to
place.
be that middle ground, and they're obviously for the well-being of
nonpartisan,
children
right.
and so forth, and it wouldn't be on either side, either fighting over money or where it is, or how
Right.
many, different hubs, as the Assemblywoman said, 15 or so for 600 school districts. I mean,
Yeah.
that just seems way, way,
Way
under.
under, yeah.
It seems like just a way to get the program out there and then kind of see where it goes, but. I don't know if that's the right thing to do.
Maybe a supplemental, something that works already in place with like a program that Red Bank has
Yeah.
already in place.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be an alternative. But that'll be interesting to see come September what happens in these schools and when this rolls out. So.
Because I mean, even the kids in school and stuff like that, when there's still a lot of kids who won't admit or whatever say that they're having or they're going through something. It's just not. It's still, even today, even after stories like this, it's very isolating.
Yeah.
And, even with social media and stuff like that they see others that are in the same kind of situation. So I don't know if that's helping or hurting, whether they're thinking they're kind of like in the majority, that there's so many people out there on TikTok and Instagram who are kind of going through a lot of things and the same kind of feelings that they're having or whatever, either it's family or their friends or whatever, that they figure maybe safety in numbers and they really want to say anything. They're just going to go to that. It's really difficult, yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on it and check in on it in September when it rolls out.